So it's time to engage in our 2025 budget hearing agenda for the binding units. And it looks like first up we have Nineveh FPD.
Standing outside, we're having massive discussion.
Are they first?
Is it not solid waste?
Solid waste is first. Hey,
Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
solid waste.
Solid waste is first, my bad.
I was gonna say, wow.
My, I think I have one. I think this is the same, isn't it? Yeah, I just had my paper flipped over. And I was, yeah,
That too.
I got it. Yeah, my paper was just flipped over. I got it all. Thank you.
So before you on the solid waste, you do have,
Will you
One-
state your name for the?
sorry, Jeff Peters Franklin, financial advisors to the solid waste district.
Oh, yeah, we're on.
And I have Jesse Biggerman with me from the solid waste district. Outside of the normal budget that you've seen, there is an excess levy appeal, which is the same excess levy appeal that the county is pursuing for assessed value growth. This is identical to the appeal that was done last year. And again, the intent was to raise additional funds for the solid waste district so that they would have a reserve of cash to address emergency situations that they don't currently have today. As was included in last year's excess levy appeal as well, the advertised amount is $100,000. The DLGF will evaluate that based on the mathematical formula, which we anticipate would come out to approximately $56,980. As to impact to the tax rate, that would be 0.0005 or 5/100ths of a penny. For the median homestead in Johnson County of $240,700, that would be about 58 cents for the year, about a nickel a month. And with that, we'd be happy to answer any questions.
Not necessarily a question, but, if we approve this as requested, then it'd be totally, then the DLGF could possibly reduce it, correct?
They could reduce it,
To an
but also,
allowable
again, I
amount.
didn't want to put in the mathematical amount if they compute it in another manner and say it's $60,000. Again, I think you would want to, since this is your second year in a row, to approve this appeal for them for additional cash. I didn't want to short that, but they will cut that $100,000 down to whatever the formula
Whatever's
in the
allowable.
manner that they
Okay.
compute it qualifies for.
Okay, I just wanted to have that pointed out, okay?
Oh, did you need to do roll call again? Since John is here.
Yeah, since we reconvened a new meeting, bear with us just one second. Amy, you want to do a roll call, please, because we have someone not here.
No, he's here.
We got the same
We
group
should do
that
a
was
roll
here. The same group that was here.
You should do a roll call.
Roll call, please.
Pamela Burton,
Present.
Ron Deere,
Here?
Jonathan Myers,
Here.
John Mallers,
Here.
John Dittmers.
Here.
Melinda Griesemer. Here.
Okay. Back to you. Any further questions or discussions?
No, but I forget how we do this.
Do you want to tackle the first one, or do you want me to review how we're going to do it?
We'll review it.
Okay. Okay, so Amy, you stop me if I'm wrong, but I'm saying that we approve the general fund budget and the debt service budget as requested. And then we, and that's the total budget, correct? Right? I cannot read that number. Can-
2025 recommended?
right here.
Million 189.
Yes.
It would be the number at the bottom, I cannot read that.
1,189,762.
Okay, you'll have to help me out on those.
Okay.
And then, there's a request to increase the general levy from 18.94 in the 2025, and we discussed the appeal. And so at this point, we would, I believe, approve the levy that they are requesting, but knowing that the DLGF would probably reduce it to the allowable amount. And that is,
1,108,764.
okay. And so the debt levy service would be approved as submitted. And then the general fund rate and the debt service rate, which is
.0094.
approved as submitted. And those numbers are across the bottom there. So I believe that will cover any motions forward. And we do have information that we're working on here, which was working from on here, which was provided by our financial advisor, Mike Reuter. So we've already reviewed it, talked to him, and we have the papers in front of us. So if it sounded a little canned, we're trying to take Mike's advice.
It is.
Yeah. So that would be a sample of the first motion, and I don't know if it's appropriate for me to make it, but is it okay that I make the motion, Adam?
President can always make a motion.
Okay, well, I try not to, but I will make that motion, the first motion.
Second.
Second by Mr. Deere, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay,
Thank you.
first one's always the hardest. Okay, next up, we have Hance Lake Conservancy. Yeah, mine says 0 too.
They're saying that link doesn't work for today.
That's nothing. That's nothing.
Be easy to
Nobody,
prove.
nothing's in there.
The tax rate. So is there anybody here from Hance Lake Conservancy?
Usually not.
Though, there's no numbers in here, Amy, at all that I see for current and
It's,
it's all zeros, everything except,
they just didn't get moved over.
okay, so we look at proposed then?
Yeah.
The 15,650 and the,
12,900, 12,900.
Yes,
.2152.
correct.
All right.
I got you there.
Yeah.
Okay,
I move to approve the general fund budget as requested, 15,650. Approve the levy as requested, which is 12,900 even, and then the recommended rate, approve that as well, .2152.
have a motion by Mr. Mallers, a second by Mr. Dittmers. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, next up, we have Amity Fire District.
Hey,
Hi, Janet, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys? It's nice to see everyone. So I'm Janet Alexander, and I am with the Amity Fire Protection District. I'm their acting fiscal advisor. I have with me Heath Brandt, who is one of our board members. He was appointed by the county commissioners. And we're just proposing our regular budget. We did advertise the levy high, but because of tax caps, you and I both know that it's not gonna make any difference. We're only gonna get what we're statutorily entitled to. So, do you have any questions about the proposed budget?
Okay. You're gonna have to explain, you're gonna have to get the Crayolas out for me here, okay?
Hey, tell me what you want.
Okay, so, approving the general fund and the special fire cumulative rainy day as requested, but speak about the new debt budget?
We advertised, we are not going to get a debt levy. So, Ron, you'll remember this especially from last year. We talked about the need to replace our tanker truck. And what we have found out is that we're able to repair that. So we're going to pay for that out of rainy day appropriations this year. We also have found someone to repair our engine. So we are not pursuing a debt levy this year at all.
So that's a moot point then, right?
It is.
Okay.
So then do we approve these amounts on here?
So it-
Those are right amounts, yeah.
he has his recommendations there.
Well, you would take off the 100,000 for the debt.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
And the levy?
Yep.
Okay, and the tax rate?
Yeah, remove it across the board.
So what would be the, well, never mind. Okay.
I think you got it.
So did I provide that county sheet before I did, didn't I? Before we approved, yeah, sorry. I was gonna say, why do you even know about that? Now I know, got it, sorry.
So I didn't need the Crayolas.
You did not need the Crayolas, the advertisement had already, so I even got a call from Sam saying, what, no
Okay.
debt? So,
All right,
no
well-
debt.
Well, I think we're gonna tackle this motion.
All right, so I'll approve the general fund budget of $231,000, the fire cume budget of $70,000, and the rainy day budget, $110,575, as requested. And the debt budget is no longer on there. Sounds good?
Second.
Nope.
No, wait,
Nope,
hold
wait,
on.
hang
Nope,
on.
nope, nope.
Then, I will approve general fund levy of $119,390. Change the cume fund levy to the requested tax rate times certified AD. Are we sticking with the cume fund levy that's here?
So the cume fund is always gonna be driven by the net assessed value, so
Right.
the rate is already set. We've
Okay.
advertised at that rate, so
Oh, okay.
whatever the net
Right, right,
assessed
right.
value is
I
where it's gonna
gotcha.
land.
So, yeah.
And I do wanna go back, John, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
The rainy day, we're only budgeting 54,075.
Oh,
Where do you see that on here?
It's not on here.
I was gonna say, our paperwork is not matching what?
You mean back to the budget, Jen?
I want you to pull the advertisement. Sorry, let's go to the actual budget.
oh, I see it.
Sorry, when you said that, so,
Yeah, I go to the next page, it's there.
Yeah, there it is on the next page.
There it is.
so if you don't mind, let me, our rainy day fund is 54,075. Our special general is 263,500.
Right,
And then our special cume fund, we are budgeting 65,500 for a total unit appropriation of $383,075.
so can we just approve that as stated? Or do I need to say it? Okay, as advertised. Okay.
Thank you, I'm sorry about that.
Nope, it's not-
We
No
ran
problem.
into,
Then the levy,
Yeah.
approve that, a special fire of $112,599, general, and cume fire of $44,331.
I'd approve the rate, actually,
Oh, well, it's cume, that's right.
yeah.
Point,
I don't trust this sheet.
yeah. So, point 1939.
No, that includes the debt.
That's everything, that
Okay.
includes everything. Is it .0313?
Yes,
Okay.
that is the rate.
We approve that rate as well for the cume fund.
And the
the
general
number?
fund rate. So a
Oh,
total
yeah, I gotta do that rate too.
Yeah,
And the general fund rate.
1145.
Pardon?
A Total of 0.1145.
0.1145,
Total.
approve that, total rate, total unit rate. Okay, that was awful.
I know, but it's all, the numbers, whoops,
Oh, sorry.
the numbers are
No, and
everywhere.
I apologize.
And so the cumulative fire rate, we approve it as requested as well, correct? I think that was a motion, Mr. Mallon.
It sounded like one.
Amy, did you get all that? Okay, so we have a motion on the floor for Amity Fire. Questions, discussions?
I'm gonna second.
Mr. Myers seconds the motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes. Opposed? Passes.
Thank you all very, very much.
Sorry about that.
No,
How's your
it's as
husband?
much my fault, it's actually probably more my fault. No problem. Good luck all.
How's your husband?
Oh, he's so annoyingly happy. It's so awful. Right now, he and a group of his friends are staying in an air nab in Evansville because they are golfing that whole region. And he's been gone for a week. He's so annoyingly happy. He texts me with smiley faces every morning. And he leaves me here to take care of everything. And so he's very happy. I will tell him you ask after him.
We miss him.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's okay, Pam. I get it. I totally
I
get it.
love him. That's all I
know,
can say.
know. Take care, all. Bye.
Okay, up next, we have Hensley Fire.
Thank you. Jeff Peters with Peters Franklin, financial advisor to the fire district. I did send over, along with the worksheet, a little commentary of their budget. Their 25 budget amount expenditure-wise is up a little bit, but that's a result of the levy increase that they received in '23 and its corresponding income tax that has begun to flow through. But for levy and rate purposes, the maximum levy is all that's being pursued for 2025. The assessed value is up 8.32%. So the overall rate is going to fall except for the cum fund, which is in there at its statutory amount of 3 1/3 cents. So the levy for the cum fund will actually go up that 8.32% due to the assessed value increase. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions? I'd like to approve all the budgets as requested. Or move to approve all the budgets as requested. $1,145,856. Approve all levies. Hopefully these numbers are accurate. $782,508. And then approve all rates as requested. 0.1635.
Looks right to me.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor by Mr. Mallers, a second by Mr. Dittmers. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes.
Thank you.
Okay, Needham?
Jeff Peters from Peters Franklin, financial advisor to the Needham Fire Protection District. I think we had talked about this a little earlier too. The increase to levy for population that you approved a levy and a budget on last year, when the DLGF came out with the new data set and the formula and the computation of that amount, Needham no longer qualified. So they did not and will not for this year receive that large levy increase to support that budget. Therefore, for 2025, they have scaled that back to live within their operating means. They are presently searching for other alternatives to get that levy up to get to an operating standard that they think is appropriate for their people. We will come back to you when an option is available, something that you can act upon. The assessed value in the area is up 7.77%. We did in the spring get approval of taking the fire cumulative fund up to its statutory maximum of 3 1/3 cents. So that is reflected here against that new assessed value. And total rate is, because of that increase in assessed value, will actually drop again this year versus last, or 25 versus 24. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
No, I'd move to approve the Needham Fire Protection District budget at, that's me, Pam, $958,298. 25 levy at $534,364, and the proposed rate at .1406.
I have a motion by Mr. Dittmers,
Second.
second by Mr. Mallers. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you so much.
Bargersville Fire Protection.
Nineveh.
Nineveh.
Why do I want to keep jumping to, sorry, Nineveh Fire Protection? Just didn't need them.
Joshua Snyder, Chief of Nineveh Fire Department.
Did you bring the whole fire department?
No, those aren't my guys. That's Cartersville. I got a couple over there. There's my crew. So
Aye.
I'm asking to take my budget from 459 to 483, 360, and then keep my coom fund at the same price.
You say that again, please?
Do what?
Say that again, please?
My general fund
Yes, sir?
from 459 to 483, 360.
And those didn't carry.
Okay.
And then my special coom fund stay at 130.
Okay, that's what we have here.
So it's 613.
Hi, Mike Hoffman, Community Liaison, White River.
You talking to the,
Mike Hoffman, Community Liaison for White River. As a community liaison, that means I have to try and help everybody in the county and the community. Okay?
But we are having a little difficulty hearing you.
I'm trying to help everybody in the community, which is what a community liaison does. Nineveh had a big problem. Both of their fire engines went down, so they couldn't respond to anything. They have an odd engine that was only built for a few years, the motor itself. And there's no parts available any longer for that. So they wouldn't be out of business whatsoever. White River has given them graciously engine 55, and they've had it for about the last 4 months or so, since FDIC.
End of April.
In the meantime, the one engine's 15 years old that has no engine in it. The other one is 24 years old, which is truly out of service anyway, because the rules say you can only run a fire engine for 20 years. They'd come to you a couple of different times and said, hey, we need to buy a new fire truck. And they'd ask for $1.1 million, and they were turned down. Fire trucks are expensive, I understand that. They went back and did an unbelievable job and found a demo one for $679. Now, the problem with the fire truck is, it's like buying a house. Once you get the fire truck, you have to put all the stuff in it and the lights on it, or the radios and all that kind of stuff. So it actually becomes like $879, okay? Which comes out to about $779, which comes out to about $185,000 a year, okay? They truly need 2 fire trucks. They have no primary, except the one they're using from us, and they have no backup, okay? If they had to replace those 2 trucks, which is what normally happens, it's about $2.3 million. If you allow them to buy this demo and put the equipment on it, White River's board and chiefs will gift them engine 55. So they'll have a first out and a second out. Engine 55, by the way, has less than 30,000 miles on it. It's one of our 2 reserves, which would save the county $1,621,000. Now, we could go out and sell that fire truck for $400,000 or $450,000, but truly, the county's already paid for it. and there's somebody else in the county in distress that needs that fire truck. The problem is, I communicated with council and some of the officers at Nineveh, but not everybody. So when they presented this budget, they didn't put that in it. But for a $2.3 million batch of equipment to spend $185,000 a year for 5 years is pretty unbelievable. I don't know how to change what they've done now. Now, I know it can't be changed between now and the second reading,
This is the second reading.
not for
Final
fires.
reading.
This is
Oh,
the
I'm
public
sorry.
hearing.
Fires for first.
Is there an issue with what they've advertised and what they can change, or what they can ask for?
Yeah, they can't go over what was advertised.
So to do it, they'd have to ask for an additional appropriation.
If they, well, additional appropriation, if they have cash on hand to appropriate.
Right.
So is there a cure for this on, as far as the council with what they're requesting? I don't see that there's absolutely anything we can do.
Can they re-advertise?
What's your cash on hand? So this isn't the proper place to negotiate, but Mike, will you take an installment?
What's the very first thing they have to do to start?
255,883.09.
255,000?
That's with both funds, right?
So the 185 would come out of that 255?
But that would destroy anything that they had left. Unless you would give it back to them on the next budget.
So they can't do it.
We can't advertise that it's a revision.
No.
No, it's a done deal. It was written in concrete.
And they can't do it, well, they could do an additional, but that would take all their cash.
All right, but I'm just throwing something out here. The council had $1 million that we took out, but we could put back in to do this. Is that a way?
We also have a rainy day fund.
You would have to talk to Adam if, like,
No, that covers the
if
protection
you're doing some
districts.
kind of
Yeah,
loan, I don't know.
it's totally outside of my realm.
Probably not.
Just grabbing at straws.
Yeah, I think. And one circumstance that holds up everything is my bay was built in 1982. You can't just put a normal fire truck in there. So when we were down both trucks, I was able to find departments that were willing to loan me a fire truck. They just won't fit in my bay. Joel, is it 10'2"? Yeah, so 10'2" is the tallest piece of apparatus, top of the light bar, that can fit through my bay door, and that's it. Most fire trucks are around 11'6", so obviously and 55 is the only one in the county and surrounding counties that will actually fit in our bay with a couple inches to spare, both sides and the top.
Without lowering the tires.
Without lowering, yes, that's right, Ron, without deflating the tires a little bit and slide it in.
I think we all understand what you're trying to do and all are in full support of it. We just don't know.
How to get there.
Is there,
I think they're confirmed. I don't know that we have an option.
Would you like to give Adam a chance to review that?
Yeah, well, yeah. I
And you
think
have
it's
to
just-
put them in a bay, is that it?
The other that's out there on obviously, I've been talking to commissioners, they gave me the green light to start working forward on getting our station built. We have the property. I've met with Mr. Peters. There has been talk about us trying to do one big bond the fire station, bond the new engine in that also. If we know that we're gonna get an engine, then White River is graciously going to allow us to keep using 55. So,
A lot of the collaboration that's going on, and I think that we can continue that here on the council. But we need some advisement
okay.
how to do this. If you do that while everything's kind of coming together, does that allow you to kind of limp along until you get a more definite long-term plan put together?
Yes, it would, sir. Because what happened was our primary engine right now has a C7 ACERT motor in it. It was built for 1 year. When Nineveh Township, I was on Nineveh Township Fire Department back in 2007, 2008, when this engine was spec'd. When we were building this engine, they said, we will give you a pretty big discount if you put this motor in it. 15 years later, did we know that this motor was only going to be built for a year? We were just thinking of a small department with a very small budget. We could save $5,000 to $10,000 off the cost of the engine. We went with that. Now, we have found in 2017-ish, we started having engine problems with it. We did some modifications to it. It's gotten us by, but 2019, the computer fried up in it. We got a new computer on it, and basically since 2019, it's just been bandage here, bandage here, bandage here, and we've just been trying to get by. And then when it finally just laid down and people were telling us, we can't get parts for it, we can't do anything. I do have it at a shop right now. They said that they have got it, and this is on the advisement of Commissioner Baird. I took it to a shop that he told me to take it to. I've got it there now. They say that they've got the parts coming in. They do not have all the parts in yet. They think they can get it back going, but that's still up in the air. So, but right now, White River has got us out of emergency status by allowing us to borrow the only engine in the county and surrounding counties that will fit in our bay to use.
So the issue is the advertisement level, right? So that we can't get around. So I think where we're at right now is to approve what the rates, budgets, levies as has been advertised. It'll give us time to do some research to see if we can fix that issue. Maybe have to call a special meeting potentially, if that's even an option. I don't think it is, but we'll confirm whether it is or isn't. Alternatively, they could approach the commissioners to utilize leftover ARPA monies potentially. We're at the very end of our timeline with that thing, so that's an option. Rainy day fund would be an option. So there's some options here to, if we can't do it through this mechanism, do it through another mechanism. What are we short on the advertisement to what it, like what was advertised versus what it should have been? Like
Yes.
how much? 185?
A year, yeah.
So the point I made, Adam, is that one of those other options could be the $1 million that is in the council budget for other items. Is that correct?
I don't think so.
Is that,
No.
that was reduced though, wasn't
Oh,
it?
No,
that
we
was
could
reduced.
increase it again.
I don't think so.
How much ARPA money do we have left?
No, not the pickleball course.
There's a couple things in flux, so it's kind of hard to give you an accurate number. There's maybe $500,000.
But that would be totally up to the commissioners,
But
correct?
A, it's up to the commissioners, and B, we've got, I think, 3 projects that are either out for
Right.
bid now, or we're kind of waiting on final numbers to come in at this time. So it's kind of hard to give you an actual solid number, unfortunately, so.
So council, then let's just go back to my budget that was advertised and go over that and make sure that that gets approved and we move forward with that.
I
And
think
then,
we're kind of at an impasse right now.
Yes.
I think we're going to need to work together more to get this
yes, and
resolved.
I will get a hold of Commissioner Baird and get put on the agenda to come and talk to them for a special proclamation.
All right.
For a motion?
I move to approve the budgets as requested. 613,360. The levy in the general fund as submitted, which is 324,665. And then the Cume fund rate. I can't read this.
Is that the point
1582? Yeah.
Yeah,
So what is the point 1582?
Yes.
and then,
Which one were you asking about?
The rate,
Pardon me, too.
the Cume fund
Oh,
for the
oh,
rate?
the Cume fund.
it says here 0.0244.
Point, yeah,
Yeah, and then.
Oh,
the-
0.0244.
yeah.
uh-huh.
And then, the total rate of 0.1582. Move to approve that as well.
So Mike had a statement on there too about an error calculating the cumulative fire. Do we need to state anything about that? Yes?
We already have a motion on the floor, but we'll hold it. Sounds like they might be working miracles in the back of the room.
Jonathan, I didn't print out, if Mike corrected that, so I can look at that before
A motion?
final adoption,
Oh, okay,
if he made a correction.
okay.
Okay.
Amy, the contract I signed earlier, I think I signed it in the, if you check your email, I think I signed it in the wrong place, maybe. So we're gonna need to reprint it and re-sign it. Just check your email. Came from Tiffany. I can hear her. Oh, I know what it is, but I didn't thought of it. I had it till lunch. Did you? My mind just works slower sometimes.
Oh, for-
No, I don't want to.
If you can.
Okay, so, we've two options. We can go on and vote as presented. There's already a motion on the floor. I don't recommend tabling this entirely. So what we do is vote on this, keep going all the way through second reading, and then try to figure out alternatives to effectuate this. Alternatively, take a vote today as presented, and then what we would do is immediately after this meeting, reach out to DLGF to get some guidance on, can we fix the advertisement issue? If we can, then we'll just have to right away re-advertise, call a special meeting, not for everybody else, just for Nineveh, and then go, okay, there was an advertisement error that occurred, we re-advertise, we're fixing the problem, and then redo a first, second reading before final adoption on October 14th.
Okay, so I think that would, you agree that's gonna be the cleanest way to do that?
I think that'd be the cleanest way to avoid having to tap into other alternatives to make this happen. And if it goes through the normal budget process, even if it's a little bit of a hiccup, that's probably the better course of action than trying to backdoor this through a different.
So we currently have a
Can I interject for 1 minute? And I'm saying this only for the fact that I've been through a re-advertisement. And when you do that, the DLGF is going to charge you, the county, for that. Because I worked for Bartholomew County years ago in the auditor's office, and we had to re-advertise one time, and they made the county pay for that. They charged us a percentage or something like that.
Well, he can look into that when.
That's good, no, I mean,
Yeah.
I think it doesn't change anything, we're still gonna take a vote today on the motion that's been made
Right.
on what's presented now, then we're gonna have to have those conversations with the DLGF, and then if that's something that the county on our side's willing to bear, then we take that
I don't
avenue.
understand, why do we need to re-advertise this budget for the whole?
Sorry, can hear you.
You can't hear you up here.
I'm not sure why we're gonna need to re-advertise the town, or the district's budget.
Wasn't it short, but that's not so
Well,
short.
if there's the issue with the new fire truck.
It's more than you advertised
then
you
it's-
wanted.
It's not, this advertisement, this budget isn't gonna cover it.
I understand that.
You
So
have
If
to,
you wanna go
And
down
I
that road,
understand that, but I can't see in our budget where we can afford this extra truck. We don't have the money for an extra truck payment. My understanding,
We would have to raise the levy. The levy would have to be raised to get the extra money unless the county's gonna find somewhere to grant us the money for it.
Seems like we just need to sort this out, so we kind of know what the
Yeah.
facts are, what the options are, and then from there, go with the best information we have as far as what the solution to the problem is, if there is one. Does that sound reasonable?
I think that's what Adam was saying.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
right now what's been advertised, we can't break what's been advertised anyway, right? So
Right.
you can only go as high as what's been advertised.
Right.
So we might as well get through that now, and then I guess we have additional conversations and they can, I guess now to be clear, I'm a little confused now based on what was presented, now being told they can't afford it. So I guess I'm not entirely sure what the question is now, but
So do you have a financial advisor?
I am the
You
financial
are.
advisor, and this is the first I've heard of this. That's why I'm kind of questioning everything. Yeah.
Well, I think we ought to just move forward with what we have.
In order
And
to
that-
move forward with this process, we really have no choice but just to approve your budget as
And that's what
presented.
I
And then
understand.
you'll have to work with
Yeah.
Adam, DLGF, the commissioners, us,
Mm-hmm.
whomever, for an exact plan. Okay, so we have a motion on the floor by Mr. Mallers to approve the budgets as requested. And he stated the amounts in the motion.
I'm seeing some consternation on Adam's part and your face there.
y'all vote. I'm just,
Well, I mean, were you wanting to clarify something?
I think there's nothing at this point to clarify. I mean, we can't go above what's been advertised. So the best we can give them right now is what they've asked for, which is what was advertised. And then if there's something that we need to fix and do another first reading and second before final adoption, then we'll weigh those options, so.
Okay.
I don't think the resolution to the problem actually lies with this board. I think our
Yeah.
position is to approve whatever resolution you come up with if it
Right.
gets
Or
back
at least
to us.
today. at
Yeah,
least,
for
right?
today.
So,
Yeah.
Adam, just to clarify, that these units only have a public hearing and final adoption. There's not a second
there's
reading.
not a second. So it's just now we're in October. But then if we were gonna do this, we would just call it another special meeting to fix it,
right,
so.
Right. But for today, all we can really do is
What was
approve what's been
advertised.
requested.
all right.
And we have that motion on the floor.
Second.
Mr. Myers seconded the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
It's
so
cheap,
I'm
okay.
afraid to say the next one. Is it Bargersville?
Jerry Hickman with Reedy Financial Group. There's Chief Funkhauser. He's
Can
going to discuss.
you speak up,
Oh,
please?
sorry. Jerry Hickman with Reedy Financial Group. Chief's on here now, Chief Funkhauser. He was gonna discuss the budget and operations, and then I can discuss the county council review worksheet and answer any questions.
Before we begin, Chief, I'd like to commend you for being able, under your current medical issues, to be present even on Zoom, and wish you the speedy recovery.
Hey, thank you. I just want to say thank you very much for that. It means a lot to me. Yeah, I apologize for not being able to be there in person. Doctor's orders that I stay safe heading into Monday morning with everything that's going on. So just trying to stay away from sickness as best as we can over the next few days and spend time with family as we're going into Monday. So just wanted to hop on this morning or this afternoon and just touch on a couple things that you're going to see, and then Brooke and Jerry will be able to run through the numbers with you guys. But the couple of things that you're going to be seeing on the county worksheet as you're looking at is the increase in our budget going into next year. We're asking for that increase due to the rapid growth in our area. Again, we are the fastest growing fire department in Johnson County. We saw a AV increase of 14.3% over last year in our area, and which equated to roughly over $300 million in AV increase. So we went from like $1.5 billion to over $1.8 billion of assessed value now. And that number's not going to slow down anytime soon over the next few years with everything that's coming with the 135 corridor and all the housing growth and just the commercial growth that we're seeing in our area. With the increase in the population and the growth in the AV, we're also seeing an increase in usage. We're pushing 8 to 10% increase over last year's numbers for our incidents and everything that's going on right now. And what we're asking for, while we're here today, is we're asking for the 3-year growth appeal again, and then we're asking for the 4% increase over last year to be able to keep up with the growth. So what that allows us to do is allows us to continue to add staffing. We're looking at ways to continue to grow in the future. We're looking for opportunities right now to be adding another station in the southern part of our district as we continue to grow, and making sure that we're staffing up for that as we move forward right now. The budget that we're bringing before you today and all the numbers that Brooke and Jerry are going to touch on, the board is in full support of this budget as well, and everything that we're asking for. And then ultimately, the best thing that I can tell you and everything that we want to talk about today is overall the tax rate will decrease, even with us doing the 3-year growth appeal and us being able to get this. So those growth numbers really helped out and everything that we need as we're moving forward as well. So thank you for the opportunity to hop on here. Thank you for letting me do this by Zoom. And I'm happy to answer any questions, and then any of the technical questions as well. Brooke and Jerry are there as well to help with that.
So when do you file your appeal?
For the 3-year growth appeal,
Yes.
it has to be obviously approved by the council, but the deadline, I believe, is October 21st. And there's other supporting documents as well that have to be turned in during that process.
Which in turn, are expecting the overall tax rate to still decline.
Yes, correct. And what we presented on the county council review worksheet is what we, as long as you guys approve it, is what we fully intend the DLGF to approve. In other words, we don't have any pads in there, so the levy that you see of 11.99% increase equates to the maximum levy growth, as well as roughly $515,000 for the 3-year growth appeal. So those two numbers combined equal that 11.99%. And then the debt, as far as that proposed levy of $630,000, that ends up leaving a 15% cash reserve at the end of '25. The DLGF will limit you to that amount. And then, as other binding units mentioned, the cumulative fire fund, it's rate driven, so that rate's staying at 0.0333. So that times the AV growth is why we see the increase in that levy of 14.29%. So it just ties out to the NAV. And as the chief mentioned, even with the 3-year growth appeal, there is a projected decrease because of substantial growth in AV in 2025 of a tax rate decrease.
Any questions or further discussion?
I move to approve Barboursville Fire's budgets as presented, the 25 budget at 14,404,862, I believe. The proposed levy, 8,468,203, and the proposed rate of 0.640.
That's not point 4640.
0.4640.
What did I say?
It's-
0.4640?
Yeah, you said 6, it's point
Point-
4.
0.4640.
Those numbers are little, I know.
They're really small.
I read it, I must not have said it.
We have a motion by Mr. Dittmers,
Second.
second by Mr. Myers. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is White River Fire.
Good afternoon. I hope I don't need these. I'm really fighting this reading glasses thing. I'm Jeremy.
Good luck.
It's a losing battle.
I know.
Which is better, lose your hair or lose your eyes?
Oh, I don't know.
Some of us lose both.
I think it depends upon how well you wear it.
Yeah,
You wear both.
Well, I've lost both.
I'm Jeremy Fell, I'm Chief of the White River Township Fire Department, and this is Benjamin Rager, our financial advisor. The White River Township Fire Protection District has unanimously approved the budget that you see in front of you. This is a fully funded budget. It's a balanced budget. It results in nearly a 1% decrease in the tax rate. This budget addresses the needs of the citizens in our community based upon the growth that we've seen, both from the AV, the population, and including the interstate. It also funds vital programs for all of Johnson County, including the mobile integrated health that you saw come out on the front page of the icon, which I was very, very proud of. That program is spreading throughout the nation because it's proven to work. It's a partnership with the county and the health department, CIT, yes, CIT, Barboursville, the other fire departments, and what it does is it starts getting to the root cause of the problems in our community. So we can either react by taking people to the hospital, we can be proactive by walking through their house and saying, how can we help you out? Do you need additional care, compliance with your medications, or that rug picked up so you don't trip over it? We can do both. White River Township Fire Department is gonna do both. I promised you in years past, you know, I've been up here a few times, I promised you that meeting the needs of White River Township was not just meeting the needs of White River Township. It was an investment in that community, and it was an investment in all of Johnson County. As we serve human beings, this budget serves human beings. And you can see how that promise is fulfilled by the discussion today. We are providing resources to the rest of the county. We are assisting departments with something such as a fire engine to make sure they can stay in service. It's not like those calls are gonna go unanswered. Supporting each other and helping each other save money and providing resources keeps Nineveh Fire Department in service. We will still certainly provide them with mutual aid, but you have seen today it is a much more efficient model than just focusing on our one organization. So based on this meeting the needs of the people in the community and it being fully funded and balanced with the decreased tax rate and how it supports the rest of the county, I would ask that you approve this budget rate and levy as it's presented.
Thank you. Questions, discussion?
Well, I move to approve the budgets as requested, 19,484,251. Approve all levies as requested, 10,458,706. And the CUME fire rate, which is, I can't see, 0.0333. And then the rest of the rates, 0.4173 as requested.
Have a motion on the floor by Mr. Bowers. Second by Mr. Dittmers. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you very much for giving us the tools to do the job we love.
Before you leave the counter,
Yes, sir.
I think I did this once before, but I think it's not inappropriate to do it now. I want to thank Melinda for being present during my emergency situation that occurred on Election Day. And also to the people who responded from your fire district. On the positive side of that, they burned my heart, so now I'm back in normal rhythm. Except when I come to the council meetings and I get out of rhythm, but that's all right.
Good, thank you for that, and I'll make sure the department knows. And
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything further from us, Amy? Anything further from the audience or any of those that are listening? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Second, we have a motion to adjourn, Mr. Mallard. Second, Mr. Dittmers. All in favor, say aye. Huh?
I'm gonna eat the biscuits.
Oh, the biscuits are gravy. I wish I could have brought